show. Great to have you with us. The Front Bar Winter Edition. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton draft. We're only moments away. The opening ceremony, just to follow us, is going to kick it off officially. We are competing, of course. You two, magnificent to see you. We have got a cavalcade of Winter Olympic royalty joining us on the show tonight. Lydia Lassala joining us on the show. Steve Bradley joining us on the show. Michael Milton joining us on the show. Lynn Gill joining us on the show. And our own eternal in-house historian, Titus I Rise joining us.
Where did you get that?
That's what you do at the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
No, seriously, at all the outdoor events, because it's so cold, you're wearing gloves, you can't applaud or clap. So to make noise, this is what you do.
But it's usually a European thing, so where did you get that from?
I just found it lying around. I can't imagine anyone would be too... OK. That's yours, isn't it? All right, settle down.
I forgot to mention the cash cow will be joining us at the start of the show.
I've given them out to the audience, by the way, so when something really kicks tonight, when something goes over the top, the whole crowd, as one, will go nuts with their cow.
Excellent. We're looking forward to that.
Trust me.
No. So the Winter Olympics are underway. We've had a couple of days of competition, the opening ceremony later on time. Just a quick pop quiz for you blokes. Your favourite Winter Olympic event? What is it?
Four-man bobsled.
OK.
I think this year the Australians, just to make it really Australian, should try and sneak a guy in the boot. Imagine getting five across the line. That would be so Australian.
What about you?
Andy, because you're commentating, I am loving the curling. Am I right, everybody? Yeah, it's been amazing.
Thank you very much. Yep. While we're with you, you're going. Have you got a favourite Winter Olympian?
No, not an Olympian. My favourite coach of all time, Jamaican bobsled coach, John Candy. I thought his performance was unbelievable.
What about you?
Well, one of them's on the show tonight, Steve Bradbury,
of course.
And then you go to Torval and Dean, but I think head and shoulders above them, the great Tonya Harding, who really captured the spirit of the Winter Games.
There's no question about that.
Anyone who can kneecap their opponent and then go on for a career in porn has really nailed the genre.
We see the fun they're having in Beijing in the lead up to this. Could we ever hope to have one in Australia, do you think?
Only at Mount Donabawang. I think that's the only chance. And we'd have to introduce tobogganing. I think that's
a good point. Yeah. Before we get stuck into the nuts and bolts of it tonight, can I just applaud you two? That is Winter Olympic Museum type stuff you two are wearing there tonight. Well done.
Thank you very much. These are from the Nagano Olympics, as worn by these gentlemen here, Bruce McAvaney and...
Johan Koss.
Johan Koss.
Yeah, there you go.
Household name in Australia.
I'll take your word for it.
They are the actual jumpers
this
they
is
wore.
The one, this is the one that Bruce McAvaney actually wore. It's unwashed, so it's still got a bit of that old man smell, which I really love.
Do you know what?
Can I point out, by the way, we're wearing ours. Andy, you didn't even realise we were doing a winter-themed show. You just turned up with that on, and somehow, strangely, it seemed to fit.
But you know what I love about Channel 7? You can't even get free tickets to the footy here, but they can find Bruce McAvaney's jumper from 1988. Andy, can I talk about the team?
Yes,
because they're saying that we're submitting the best Winter Olympic team of all time. Like, we're looking really good, aren't we?
Talent is deep. There's podium and medal chances all over the place. So, the mail you're getting is right.
Well, I'm glad your optimism is high because the confidence always hasn't been there, especially in 1984.
Unlike the Summer Olympics, where we Australians can realistically anticipate a medal tally, the Winter Olympics offer no such hope.
I've still got my No Such Hope T-shirt from Sarajevo.
No such hope.
That was actually the Australian team coach. It's Summer Olympics are better for us. We really love the Winter Olympics, and we really put in, and we love it when we bag a medal. Do you remember the excitement that rippled across the nation when we won our first ever medal? It was a bronze medal by an athlete called Merthyr. Who won it on the ice.
Andrew Merthyr.
Andrew Merthyr. Yep. Pardon me. And I just remember the wild scenes in the Milner household when this magnificent moment occurred. Wild.
The tension stretched half a world away to the Merthyr household at Seven Hills as son Andrew tried to put Australia on the Winter Olympic scoreboard for the first time.
Australia is going to have to settle for a bronze medal. Fantastic.
I mean, that was the start of a 3-day bender.
So it's the image that sums it up. Look at the little kid. He'll remember this moment forever. He's not even watching.
I think he's working out on the abacus how much money the brother has cost the family with his skating career.
Hey, in the lead up to any Olympic Games, there's always a lot of news, a lot of controversy, all that sort of stuff. And Beijing hasn't really disappointed, of course. And as is often the case, there seems to be a bit of a focus on condoms. And again, they've been front and centre.
They have indeed. There it is. There, look at that. Free condoms available. Condoms available, but hugs and handshakes are to be avoided. It sounds like my last 3 relationships. It's just too close to home for me.
You're right, having a trauma.
By the way, it's the wrong time to be handing out condoms in China, isn't it? I mean, they've only got 1 billion people. I think that horse has bolted people.
No, so they're out there. We can safely report that they have arrived.
Well, they did arrive. We've got some footage of them arriving here, and they're not mucking around.
No.
They've got a few, and there it is. I haven't seen that many in the one place since the SEN Christmas party.
Obviously, it is raising a few eyebrows, but the number one question that everyone's asking with the condoms, though, is...
What are they asking?
Well, they're asking social distancing, and that's why they've brought out this 1.5 metre condom, which is great. You just put that on and obviously keep your distance if you can. It's a cheap joke.
And I'll be needing that back, thank you. Yeah, really. It's so hard to get in your wallet.
That's extraordinary. That is actually extraordinary.
Listen, you're better than that. A cheap condom sight gag
it was your
on a
idea.
national TV show is crazy. And we know that's not the case because we know it's very cold at the Winter Olympics. So these are the condoms that they... So that's tiny... And you'll be needing those back, I'm guessing.
Hey,
let's move on. Come on, with some hard news. We need some heavy-hitting news.
Okay, look, bring this to the table then if you want. COVID, of course, has been affecting everything for the last couple of years, and they've taken all the precautions of the world in China, making sure that in the village and in the food halls, they're practising COVID safety practices. It's a brilliant, brilliant initiative by the Chinese. It's robots delivering the food to people sitting in isolated cubicles. It's magnificent.
It's fantastic. And I have to say, we employ that same technology here on the front bar. We're feeling a bit peckish.
What is that?
My kebab has arrived. Talk amongst yourselves.
Where does
COVID safe.
Is that the cash cow up there as well?
By the way, that's how my condoms arrive in the bedroom too.
Hey, it wouldn't be the Olympics without a mascot. We love mascots, of course, and they are symbolic and such a lingering memory for so many Olympic Games. And we've got a magnificent mascot here in Beijing, Bing Duen Duen, the giant panda. This is...
What's that name again?
Bing Duen Duen, the giant panda. I think it's a magnificent mascot. I love everything about it.
I'm surprised they didn't go with Wee Woo from Wuhan, who I really thought was going to get the chockies. Have we got a picture of Wee Woo? There he is.
I think that'll go viral easily. That's
one of the biggest characters down at the wet market. He is hilarious.
I liked it, Fitz.
They missed an opportunity.
We shouldn't let a historical milestone pass us by, and we wouldn't on a show like the Front Bar when these things are noted. It is 20 years ago since Stephen Bradbury's magnificent performance all those years ago in Salt Lake City. That spectacular gold medal achievement by him. So we pay special tribute to Steve Bradbury.
We don't. I just want to say this. I caught up with him during the week and we watched it together.
Oh, really?
It was a way to get inside his mind, to know what was going on in his head and getting into a fascinating insight, never before heard, from what was going on in the mind of Stephen Bradbury. All right, Steve, take a seat, have a chip. Mate. Here we go. I've been looking forward to this. We're about to revisit one of the most iconic moments in Australian history. 20 years ago today, we all caught a glimpse of this. Crackerjack. Well, I mean that. Like a young Brando. G'day, g'day. Sorry, mate. We know why we're here, to watch one of the greatest races of all time. Let's go.
Away they go.
OK, we're off. What are you thinking here?
Bit slow out of the blocks.
OK, yeah. Okay, so the other guys are out the front, you're up the back. What's going on in your head?
Geez, they're pretty quick, those boys.
Okay, yeah.
Less than 4 laps remaining. Stephen Bradbury still back in fourth.
And here we go, round the back. What are you thinking at this point in time?
Oh, pretty sure I just saw my mate Jeff from Parramatta in the grandstand.
Okay. Mine's not really on it there, is it?
He starts to quicken. Look at Ono. Finds a way.
Come on. You got this. What are you doing?
Still coming last.
Can Ono bring it home?
Final lap. My God, what are you thinking now?
Is there a medal for fifth?
All gone down. Bradbury is going to come through and win.
You're guilty. Well done. Great stuff, big fella.
Never in doubt.
You want to watch it again?
Nah.
The time on at Shakespeare back in Surrey, 1879 in Surrey Hills, that pub, been on the same corner.
A couple of beers there a couple of weeks ago. You can take your dog in there as well, Mick, which is good.
I drink at the Moliere across the road.
Well, yeah, the Shakespeare's still a beauty, so don't worry about that. Hey, we're here for the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Great to have you with us. Michael Milton not too far away from joining us, nor is the opening ceremony too far away from getting underway. So don't change the dial here on the channels of 7. You won't miss a beat. It's going to be spectacular. So much to look forward to at the Winter Olympics thereafter. 7 new events across snowboarding, skiing, bobsled. 1 new event is monobob. Bree Walker's going to be competing in that, as well as the 2 women bobsleigh. Here she is with her co-rider Chiara Reddingus in the 2 women bobsleigh. Have a look at the unit. State-of-the-art stuff for the Australians. They are cutting no corners. They are going the whole hog and having a real crack to try and get these girls and boys competitive on the Winter Olympic stage.
And it's good to see because
magnificent.
We're coming from a long way back because it wasn't too far ago that this was our state-of-the-art equipment.
Right.
I'm not joking. That is actually the bobsled used for training, which I'm not sure even had a roadworthy certificate. I think the biggest problem in practice was getting a splinter, I think. I mean, that is
actually 1992. That is what they were using down at Albert Park in Melbourne to practice on. That is fair nicking.
Well, it seems like a pretty simple event to me. You push it, you jump in and you hold on.
What could go wrong?
It's not that easy, boys.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't always go to plan.
In the 4-man bob, Germany is dominating after the first 2 runs. The strangest run went to the Commonwealth of Independent States. The number 3 man almost missing the start and eventually ending up sitting in the number 2 position facing backwards.
And that was the final time that you saw the Commonwealth of Independent States compete. I just want to know, what's the conversation going on there? Are we there yet?
Hey, speaking of the bobsled, a lot of people had the bobsled introduced to them around the world, of course, with Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team, the famous story. And for the first time in 24 years, I'm happy to report that they're back in to the Olympic Games. They've qualified again, which is magnificent. So well done to you over there in Jamaica.
You know who I'd like to see back in the 4-man bobsled?
Who's that?
The Wiggles. They haven't been there for a long time. And have a look. Here they really got off to a flyer here. And if it wasn't for, well, the old... That's the curse of the yellow wiggle. Wake up, Jeff! Jeff, wake up! And I should point out, Captain Feathersword did fail a drug test shortly after the event. So...
no, it's very disappointing.
It wasn't his sword that he was using, unfortunately.
It wasn't his.
It breaks our hearts to relive that tragic moment in Wiggles history. Hey, our next special guest is about to join us. Thank you very much. About to join us on the show. He's one of Australia's great Paralympians. Nay, one of Australia's great Olympians. Please make him welcome. 6-time gold medalist. Please make him welcome Michael Milner.
Hello, mate.
In the middle.
Okay. Can I just say, straight off the bat, thanks for dressing up. We really appreciate you, mate.
I went through my winter uniforms the other day and nothing really fit. You can tell by you guys.
Brand new funny for the show. Thanks for coming on the show. Tell us about your story, mate. Tell us how you lost your leg, when you lost your leg, what happened.
I grew up in a skiing family in Canberra. My dad was a volunteer ski patroller at Thredbo, and they started a ski shop the year I was born. So it was kind of something that was in my blood. I lost my leg to bone cancer when I was 9, and getting back into skiing, being able to do a gravity-based sport as a person with a disability was absolutely huge throughout my childhood.
It's a remarkable story, given what you're able to achieve, not just on snowfields. We'll get to that a little bit later on. The first gold medal won by an Australian at Winter Olympic Games was won by you in Albertville in 1992. How sharp are the memories of this run for you, Michael?
I don't think I remember that run an hour after it. You know, it was fully overstressed, autopilot, and I think in a way that environment was almost what I was required for me to bring out my best because you've done all the training. If you can turn yourself on autopilot at the games with pressure on, then you're in a pretty good spot.
So 10 years later, we turn up at Salt Lake City. And you win 4 of these things, and you dominate. You absolutely dominate. Was this the best form and the best physical nick you'd ever been in your athletic career?
Yeah, I think there were individual runs that were better, but to be in form through 4 disciplines, because a lot of the time, you do really well in one discipline and the other one goes off. But to be on form in all 4, the timing was amazing. The hill suited me really well. The conditions, there were lots of things that were, some were good management and some were pretty much just luck.
That is a magnificent achievement by you, absolutely.
It's a fascinating story. There's so many questions to ask you. I'd like to start with, did you get half-price ski hire when you were on the mount? No, I've been thinking about this all day.
One, I grew up in a ski shop that my parents owned, so they didn't charge me. 2, I had some pretty good sponsors. Yeah. And, obviously using one ski at a time means that the pair lasts twice as long. That's a good thing. And, there's many advantages to having one leg, whether it be, you're travelling overseas for 4 months, you only need to take half as many shoes. You're saving space in your luggage. There's Rockstar parking out the front of every building. And, I know you guys were talking about condoms at the Olympics earlier, but, there's a whole other conversation about condoms at the Paralympics. Because,
we know. It's probably a bit early to tell those stories.
So let's go through it. 6 gold medals, 11 in total. Obviously, they mean a lot to you. And the way that you dressed tonight, obviously, you're quite clean at home as well. But where are they? Where are all the medals?
Well, that's a good question. There's 6 gold. I think there's 4 between my house and my parents' house.
Yep.
There's 1 that I gave to my coach. He had such a huge part. And there's 1 MIA.
What, missing?
Yeah.
What, is that after celebrations? Or?
No, they give you a medal on the podium, and that's great. And, got back, chucked it in my undies drawer, and that's all good. A couple of days later, a box rocks up for it. Yeah. And so I've just kind of thrown them in the box, and then I've grabbed 4 boxes, and obviously 1 had slipped down the back of the undies drawer, and I left with 4 boxes, and then I got back to Australia, and there's only 3 medals.
Oh, you've lost one.
Well, that's got to bob up somewhere.
There's anyone out there.
Exactly. Let us know.
Olympic medal, please.
Get in touch here at the program, and we'll get it back to Michael. There's no doubt about that. Nick, we have a segment here called Rewrite the Rules, brought to us by Carlton Zero, that we very, very much enjoy.
OK, let's get straight into it. We've just talked about your amazing achievements at the Olympics. I want to know what is going on here. Can you tell me what you've undertaken? What's this about?
So this is basically a different sport. It's not an Olympic or Paralympic sport. It's speed skiing. So it's the drag racing of alpine skiing. It's straight down the hill as fast as you can. Everything's about aerodynamics. And I am very proud to hold the title of Australia's fastest ever skier at just over 213.
That is unbelievable.
So that's the record for Abe. That's for everybody. You've got the record.
It's a bit like, particularly when we're talking Australian skiing, it makes me a big fish in a very small pond.
Yes, yes.
Can I put this to you? You get bored easily, don't you? Because you've won all those medals and now you just go, I'm going to become the fastest man downhill. It's incredible.
It was actually a goal, I think. It was 1993.
Yep.
We're training in Colorado. Snowed out day. I'm wandering around the streets. I've walked in a bookshop, popped open the Guinness Book of Records, looked at the skiing record. Oh, look, there's a 1-legged world speed skiing record. And it took me Took me 10 years to get to it, but it was always in the back of my mind as something I wanted to have a shot at. So,
Michael, for a long time, Australians have punched above their weight at Winter Olympic Games. You were the one that was leading the charge before many others followed in your footsteps, mate. So we appreciate you joining us on the show. We congratulate you on everything you're able to. Oh, no, they're coming on. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that in a moment. Thanks for coming on the program, mate. Michael Milton, our very, very special guest. Don't forget, the Winter Olympics do start March 4 straight after the Winter Paralympics.
All right, settle down.
So it's after the Olympics over, keep your 7plus app. Yeah. Don't delete it. Because the Paralympics will be on.
Paralympics start on March 4th. You don't want to be anywhere but on the channels of 7 to catch up with all. Michael Milton, our very special guest. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this, from one great Winter Olympian to another, Lydia Lassala to join us on the show.
Well done, Mick. Well done.
Welcome back to the show. The winner is from the front bar. Thanks to the Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. We are very lucky on this program to be joined by some of the greats of the various sports that we're talking about. Our most recent gold medalist is about to join us, an absolute giant of Winter Olympics, not just in Australia, but all over the world. Please make her welcome, the one and only Lydia Lassala joins us on the show. Lydia, thanks for joining us on the program. It's an absolute delight for us to have you with us. First of all, just tell us, what's it like over there in Beijing?
Gee, I recognise that voice, Andy. You're the voice of curling, aren't you?
I appreciate the fact that you've been set up.
It's going good. I'm right next to the ice cube.
I know you've been told to say that, Lydia, so thanks very much. But well, what is it like over there?
It's balmy. A little fresh breeze at the moment, but it's really cooling me down. No, it's lovely. Oh, Mick.
Yes, Lydia.
Before I fall over, can you give a shout out to my mum? She loves you.
A big hello to Mrs. Lassala. You have fantastic taste in men.
No, There
you go. Yeah, that's right. Hey, take us back to 2010, Lydia. It was a great...
We're tough as nails.
Yeah.
We eat them for breakfast. You know, only the tough can survive. And the legacy lives on strong in our girls competing here in Beijing with Laura Peel, flag bearer. Hello.
Yeah.
Danielle Scott and Gabby Ash leading the way now. It's awesome.
It's going to be great, but there is a rich tradition, and I'll tell you why. It's the excellence. It's the state-of-the-art training conditions that we develop. Have a look at what they've put up with over there in Utah. I mean, what is that? Have a look at what our girls practice on, and tell it's the swamp of dreams. It's fantastic, Lydia. And
it's the swamp of leech-infested and spider bite infections.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That's what makes champions.
However, the good news is, immediately after practising, you can go yabbying. It's a win-win for everyone involved. Can I just say, that's the type of place you dump a dead body. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Just be careful next time you're in that.
Lydia, you like taking risks from a very early age. I mean, if we have a look at this, you didn't like using 2 hands on the monkey bars, that's for sure. Were you a massive risk taker from a young age? Were you getting injured early?
Just before you answer that, I just want to say this. That is bad parenting.
No, I wasn't getting hurt. I was way more nimble on my feet as a youngster and a bit more clumsy these days. But, yeah, I just liked it. I like to be on the edge. I like to find new heights, I guess, always as a kid. So it just came naturally.
So you went from that arc of gymnast into Winter Olympian, and we know that you're a decorated gymnast. How good as a gymnast were you as a young kid, Lydia?
I was a pretty crap gymnast. That's why I didn't make it. So it was really nice that there was a life after all that hard work and went nowhere, you know, to another career in aerial skiing. I was all right. I wasn't too shabby.
You're right.
Well, the amazing thing was 2 years it took her to get to the Olympics, which is unbelievable from her gymnastics career. But there were some crashes, and we know you're a risk taker, but there must have been moments, Lydia, when you have crashes. When you have crashes like this, were there moments where you were going,
Whey!
I mean, this crash here was 2 days out from an actual event. I mean, you could have... I mean, that you walked away from that one. But, I mean, there's this one as well.
Like...
Was this your worst one, Lydia, with the ACL blowout?
Yeah, chills.
Yeah.
It was like blood-curdling screams.
No.
Hey, yeah, look, I've made the crash reel a lot of times. It's you know, it's a really high achievement to make the crash reel at an Olympic Games.
Hey,
And I made it twice, actually, in Salt Lake City.
The good thing about doing your knee in that location is there's plenty of ice to put on it afterwards. You can address it straight away. Is it true that you have a dead person's tendon in your knee?
I actually killed that one. I tore it.
Oh, so you tore that one? Oh, well,
yeah,
there you go.
it's no longer with me. Yeah.
But is that...
That was, tore my own, and then I tore that one, and then I've got another one that's still with me.
Oh, good.
Hey, Lydia, just to continue on the crashing theme, even your family are used to you crashing. This is your young son, Kai, as a baby, watching Mum crash, and even he knows the reaction.
Nee, tak. Aha, muks.
Yeah, you know what? When your baby's first words are "Mum fell over," yeah, you might be in the wrong sport.
A good thing that, you know, kids' memories are pretty short, so he's probably forgotten all that by now.
Hopefully he doesn't keep watching the doco when he's a bit older. The Will to Fly, it's a magnificent piece of work, and it sums up a superb career. It's continuing on with a microphone under your nose these days, Lydia, and we're the beneficiaries of that. Opening ceremony not too far away tonight. Two quick questions. Is this, from a depth perspective, the best team Australia's ever sent over? And can you give us 2 or 3 names of some athletes we should look out for?
I can give you 10 athletes you can look out for, but yeah, it certainly is. There's some real chances here. We've had chances at every Olympics, and it comes down to can you deliver on the day. But we saw from Jakara Anthony last night, her qualification run into the moguls was sensational. Laura Peel has been on fire all season, so I can only expect good things from her. Danielle Scott, her teammate, also exceptional. Then we've got some guns in the border cross with Belle Brockhoff, to name one of them. I mean, we've got guns everywhere. Tess Cody's about to kick off tomorrow, so she's looking really good, and she's cruisy, eh? She thinks it's going to be hectic.
Good luck to all those competitors.
Absolutely.
And as I said, expectations are not overly high when it comes to the Winter Olympics. Right, so it's a bonus, I think, whenever we come close to winning a medal.
Thanks for your belief, mate.
But the point is,
I might go now. My eyes are starting to water. It's a bit cold. Can I piss off now?
What I'm saying is we always overachieve, and when we do, it's brilliant. And sometimes it's a surprise to even the competitors. Yes, Lydia, even your friend Elisa Camplin looked genuinely shocked to have won a medal.
The whole of the Olympic Winter Institute have been so wonderful. They made me feel really confident and happy. This is the first time I've ever won anything.
That's the level of excitement I'm talking about.
It was her first ever win. I was there. You know, it was unbelievable, actually. But she won heaps of medals as a track athlete and a gymnast. She's always been a champ.
Yeah. So she was just bullshitting. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Again, thanks so much for being part of the show tonight. Good calling over there. Enjoy your time.
Hi to your mum.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for joining us on the
Fitzy,
show.
you look like you've been working out, mate.
Oh, thanks, Lydia.
Good guns. Thanks for having me.
What, nothing for me?
You'd love the dumplings here, Mick.
Lydia Lassala joining us on the show. Brilliant stuff, Lydia. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks, guys.
What an absolute superstar she is. What an absolute champion. The opening ceremony not too far away. Lydia Lassala will be part of that as well. She is an absolute superstar. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more on the show on the other side of this. To the show. Let's be honest, curling fever has gripped the nation, one and all. To tell us more about it, and with the boys helping her in, please welcome to the show, Lynn Gill, everybody.
Here we go, Lynn.
Come, Lynn. Come on.
Here we go, Lynn.
Sweet boys. Sweet girls. Sweet girls. Get in there. Here we go. Get in there. What are you doing? Well done. Hey, Lynn, thanks for coming.
Pretty good.
That wasn't bad.
Really
Their technique. What do you get?
I'll be honest, I'm buggered.
Yeah. You've only got 24 metres to go and you'll be right.
24 metres?
Well, it's a long way.
Mother of Tali, of course, Gill, Dean Hewitt's the other partner. It hasn't gone the way we would have hoped for them over there, but the fact that they've got there, you must be so enormously proud of the fact that they've qualified for the biggest show on earth.
Yeah, I think any curler in Australia really understands what a big task that was. I mean, not to have any dedicated ice here and not living in the same towns or cities and then just sort of landing and then having to compete together. It's amazing. How's it been watching them from so far away? Yeah, I chatted to her a couple of times today and she actually was pretty jealous that I'm here and she's over there. So she really wants to do everything.
Well, if Lydia Lassala can go in 2 years, I reckon Mick could tell for
At what age did you get the kids into it?
I started them around 11 or 12.
My boys are 9. My boys I might get them into it because if nothing else, they may come in handy around the house. You missed a bit, boys. Sweep up.
Yeah, the funny thing is they actually don't sweep much at home. They think the kids are good.
Well, how did you get into the sport? This is an amazing story because no one else was doing it.
Well, there was a group in Bendigo. I was living in Sydney at the time. I saw it on the Olympics and thought, wow, that is the weirdest sport I've ever seen. I've got to have a go. So I rang Macquarie Rink and said, have you got it? And they knew nothing about it. And then I just started a family, had 3 girls in the meantime, went to Brisbane, moved near a rink there, and I thought I want some me time after having so many kids, and rang the local rink. They said, oh, we've got some stones, which is pretty unusual to have stones just lying around, and said, they're sitting under the staircase, dusty. If you want to dust them off, get a group of people together, we'll send them up to there, because it was at another rink, and send them up. And in the meantime, another group were kind of interested, and they put in a little note in the local paper. And then I got my group. We all got together and we were in Queensland. So, Lynn, there's ice rinks all over the place, but there's no dedicated curling sheets in Australia. Can you see that changing after what your daughter have been able to do? This is doing training. Yeah, look at him go.
Looks like amazing. He's in a Beyonce clip.
Yeah. he's got some moves. He's got moves. It's okay.
Can you see there being a growth in interest and participation in the sport after this?
Oh, absolutely. We've got tennis courts everywhere, and, you know, we've developed, you know, some pretty amazing athletes from that. I would hate to think we couldn't even have a curling rink in a city, in every city.
Is it too late for me to take up the sport?
Never too late.
Would I be
Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
Would I be allowed to use a leaf blower? Yeah. I just feel I could warm the ice.
Have you heard of the spirit of curling? No, you're not.
No, I'm writing that down.
Yes,
just quickly, your thoughts. Let's get off Mick. The king of curling.
I know, you're
the voice
doing
of curling.
amazing.
What do you think of Andy?
Mr. Curling.
Really good. Yeah, love it.
He's struggling. He's struggling a bit, isn't he?
No. In fact, from the start. Sorry, not to critique you.
No. Please, let's take a bit of time on this. How crap was he at the start?
No, Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Crappish, you know.
Not at all. But I could see that you were really getting more excited the more you watched it. I'm hoping everyone in Australia just gets a bit more excited.
I absolutely love it. You should be so proud of what you.
Great.
Should be so proud of what your daughter and Duna have been able to do.
We are. All of us are.
Anybody who's watched it, the imagination's been captured. Thanks for coming on. Maybe many more times. Lynn Gill joining us on the show. Winter Olympics historian, the one and only Titus I Rise. Up next. Where are we? Up there. All right. There we go. Welcome back to the show. Who knew he was a Winter Olympics aficionado? Well, he is. Please make him welcome the one and only Titus I Rise, everybody.
Welcome aboard for the Winter Edition. Can I ask, and I don't mean to be rude, but I'd say, is it too late for you to compete in any event as a Winter Olympian?
Oh, it's not too late for me. It's not too late for any of us. We could all be going as athletes to the Winter Olympics because there was a couple, Gary Di Silvestri and Angelica Marone, and they wanted to go to the Winter Olympics, but they're in their late 40s. So their first step was they paid $200,000 to the island of Dominica to become citizens, which anyone can do. You just drop the money in the bank account.
Right.
Problem with Dominica is being a tropical island being formed by a volcano in the Caribbean. Didn't have a Winter Olympics team.
Right.
So they went to the government and said, we'd love to become your Winter Olympics team. They said, OK. So they formed the most ridiculous organisation in history, the National Ski Association of Dominica. And so they joined that, and then they instantly were suddenly Winter Olympians.
Wow. So they qualified for the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, this is the greatest thing of this plan that we can all do. To qualify, they had to do a bunch of amateur races. Because it's a small country, the bar is set a lot lower. They came last in all their qualifying races, which, you know, you could ski, never have skied and come last. I mean, you know, because Dominica, you know, you find as much snow in Dominica as you'd find a rapid antigen chest in Australia at the moment. So once they'd actually qualified, and here they are, we've got some footage. This is them walking out at the Sochi Olympics, the opening ceremony.
Oh, that is awesome.
The entire Winter Olympic team of the Dominican. That's Gary in the front.
He got to carry the flag.
He got to carry the flag bearer. I mean, it was out of two. You know, imagine the fights in the bedroom over anything like that.
And how did they go, Titus?
Well, Angelica chucked a sickie for her event. She was 48. She would have been the oldest skier by 7 years. Gary showed up and did a whole 100 yards before calling in too tired and said, I can't do this anymore. So the good news is it's a heartwarming story because all you need is a Caribbean island and the inability to ski and you can go to the Winter Olympics. Awesome. And the good news tonight, guys, is I actually have got us in to these Winter Olympics. We're on a plane straight after this. All we have to do is wear this.
We're in. Well done. Oh, I want one of those t-shirts. I want one of them. Magnificent story. How lovely to see you, Titus I Rise. Time now for Mixed Multi. Right, what do you got for us?
All right, let's get straight into it. Mixed Multi, Winter Edition. OK, first up, over in the States recently, these ice hockey fans had an interesting reaction to their team scoring a goal.
He gets it back, right circle, pulls the trigger, and scores! Sweet cuddly mayhem! It's Teddy Bear toss time! It's Axel Janssen Dialby! The flow makes them fly! It's 1-0 Hershey!
There are more teddy bears there than on Prince Andrew's bed, let me tell you. I'd like to wager that we do that exact same night here on the front bar, and coincidentally, it's teddy bear time! Yes! Was that it?
No, you can't have it. You're supposed to hit me in the head, Mark. Terrible throw. How about you take Back and Bears to win by 9.5 points for the Svendborg Rabbits in the Danish Basketball League, and I'll give you $1.56 if it comes up.
Let's take it away. Second leg, as with any classic multi-clip, it's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. You be the judge on this one. Have a look at this bloke.
And my new band is called Sis Jill.
Toxic.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'd like to wager that Airbnb may have lied about that pool being heated.
I think they did, but you can't have it. How about you take Angers Dukes to beat HC Briancon in the French Ice Hockey League? Who knew there was one? And I'll give you $1.28.
Sold.
Right.
Third leg, there are plenty of winter sports to choose from that take place on the ice, but I don't think this one's the best idea. It's golf. What could go wrong? And I'd like to wager that the ice there was softened up by this guy.
You can't have it. That was a hole in one, by the way. You can't have it, but how about you take Ice Crusher to place at Randwick in race 3, and I'll give you $3.10.
I'm taking it. Let's go. Final leg. Let's boot this baby home. The competitor in the downhill slalom will not be forgetting this run anytime soon. Ouch.
Oh, the gate to the groin for Yannick Bertrand, and you could hear it.
I'd like to wager it was so cold that when his testicles hit that pole, they made this sound.
I think you may be right. You can't have it, but how about you take Frosty Rocks to win race 10 at Randwick?
Frosty Rocks.
And I'll give you $6. What do you reckon?
Bag it up.
Yeah, what are we looking at? It comes to the juicy odds of $37. If you like the look of it, get to the Sports Bet app. Look for the multi Megabet section now. Whatever you do, gamble responsibly. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the last shout.
Yeah.
It was a bad injury. One of your players needed medical assistance. Is that correct?
One of our players was injured and he had to be taken to hospital. They couldn't find either the ambulance driver or the ambulance, so they took him to hospital in the garbage truck.
In the garbage truck. Doing it the Aussie way over.
Magnificent. Absolutely
How
magnificent.
good is that? That's Rob Reid, Andy. 89 years of age. That was 4 years ago. Big shout out to Rob. He's watching the show tonight.
Good on you, Robbie. Hey, we're just about done here tonight. Keep an eye out for the all-sport versions of the front bar coming up after the Winter Olympics. There's going to be so much to look forward to. The opening ceremony not too far away.
It's going to be
curling. We need the Australians.
I'm very upset with Lydia Lassala over the dumpling crack.
Yeah,
but I have ordered some.
What?
We got them here. It's very rude.
That's it. Thanks to Brewery Fresh, Carlton Draft. It's been a joy. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for everyone, the superstars for coming up. Don't go